President Biden delivers a speech in front of a crowd in Poland. What he said off script, that's drawing concern. Severe weather chances across the state as a cold front moves through tomorrow. We'll tell you how to prepare. And what happened at the Oscars last night? We'll have a look at the slap heard around the world. This is OU Nightly. Hello and thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Dylan Rivera.
And I'm Zaria Oates. We begin with the latest on the war in Ukraine.
President Biden says he will not take back remarks he made about Vladimir Putin while visiting Europe. In Warsaw, the president said Putin should not remain in power, raising global concern. CNN's Chris Nguyen has the latest on the war and how the White House is clarifying President Biden's unscripted remarks.
As Russia intensifies its missile strikes on Ukrainian cities in the west and the east, heavy fighting also continues in the south, where the mayor of the port city of Mariupol has called for a complete evacuation of the remaining population. A weeks-long siege by Russian forces has flattened the city, leaving an unknown number of civilians dead and
Sorry for those technical difficulties. Well, it's been warm outside today, but it sounds like that forecast isn't going to stay with us.
Yeah, OU Nightly's Juliana Mejia takes us into our first look at the weather.
Yes, Dylan, Zaria, I mean, it's been pretty beautiful out there. It's been well above average. Tomorrow, that kind of continues, so we're going to be hot for the first part of the day, and then that's going to kind of help us initiate some of these severe storms that we're expecting late in the overnight hours. So we do have a slight risk from the SPC here, the Storm Prediction Center, for severe weather for much of the state tomorrow. We'll have all the details on that coming up. This is all going to come along with a cold front. That's going to dip us quite significantly going into Wednesday. However, we do return to much more seasonal and average conditions coming up later in the week. So again, all the details coming up in the full forecast.
Thanks, Juliana. Well, the search continues for an Oklahoma prison inmate who escaped from the state reformatory in Granite. Guards noticed 56-year-old Frank Logan was missing during a routine bed check. Logan is currently serving 60 years for several charges, including burglary and kidnapping. Police say he has a known affiliation with the Aryan Brotherhood. Logan is a white male standing at 5'10" with swastika tattoos on his upper right arm. Guards are not sure how he escaped.
Well, former President Donald Trump now has a deadline to turn over crucial information. OU Nightly's Kenzie Iserman has that story in the news center and the rest of today's headlines from around the world.
Thanks, Dylan. A New York state judge rules that former President Donald Trump must release evidence to the state attorney general's office. For more than 2 years, the AG's office have been working on a civil investigation into Trump and his real estate company. They say there are multiple omissions, fraudulence, and misleading statements within the company's financial statements. A lawyer from the Trump organization says they're not delaying the investigation. They now have until the end of April to turn everything in. And in Florida, Governor Ron DeSantis signs a new bill banning instruction about sexual orientation and gender identity in some classrooms. The Parental Rights in Education bill was introduced in January, sparking debates throughout the nation. Students have protested, and Disney has even criticized the bill. Governor DeSantis says that he's going to stand his grounds against critics.
We will continue to recognize that in the state of Florida, parents have a fundamental role in the education, healthcare, and well-being of their children. We will not move from that.
The law is set to take effect starting in July. At least 19 people were found dead in Mexico's Michoacan state last night. Authorities were alerted about aggression against event attendees. According to the country's expert services and crime scene unit, there were 16 men and 3 women found dead with gunshot wounds. Others at the scene were also wounded. The investigation is still ongoing. And TV ratings for the Oscar went up 56% from last year. Experts say that with that surge, it is the second smallest television audience to watch the Oscars live. Back to you.
Thanks, Kenzie. Well, speaking of the Oscars, they may not have seen it live, but today everyone is talking about the slap heard around the world. Last night, actor Will Smith walked on stage and slapped comedian Chris Rock, who was hosting the awards. It happened after Rock made a joke about Smith's wife. Now, we know the Academy is condemning Smith's actions and will be launching a formal review. We sent out OU Nightly's Jessie Klinger to find out what OU students think about the whole thing. She joins us live from campus. Jessie?
Thanks, guys. Yeah, I'm here on the South Oval where I've been speaking with students on what they think about this controversy. Now, if you didn't get a chance to watch the awards last night, or if you just haven't been on social media, here's what you missed.
I'm out here. Uh-oh, Richard. Oh, wow.
While presenting the Oscar for Best Documentary, comedian Chris Rock made a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith's shaved head, which led to an altercation between him and her husband, Will Smith. The actress has been open about her struggle with alopecia, an autoimmune disorder that leads to hair loss. Then minutes later, Smith won the Academy Award for Best Actor for his role in King Richard and apologized about the incident in his speech.
I want to apologize to the Academy. I want to apologize to all my fellow nominees. Love will make you do crazy things.
After the awards, the Academy then tweeted that the organization does not condone violence of any kind. The video went viral on social media and has become a controversial topic over who was in the wrong, Chris Rock or Will Smith.
After I saw it, I kind of give props to Will Smith to stand up for your woman like he did. It's kind of respect the man part of Will Smith for that.
This morning when I woke up and I started watching the video back, I was surprised at how mad Will Smith was because he got pretty angry. I felt like Will Smith was the one that was out of line.
I kind of lean more towards Will Smith's side because, the whole issue, if you're gonna make a joke, you need to be responsible for the consequences. Now, do you go around hitting people? No, but I also thought it was hilarious.
Now this morning, Chris Rock chose to not press charges against Will Smith, according to the LAPD, but celebrities are continuing to share their opinions on social media. Reporting live, Jessie Klinger, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Jessie. The Oklahoma Empowerment Act failed to pass last week. However, the writer of the bill will continue to fight for state funding for students. We'll have more when OU Nightly returns.
Plus, why some Oklahomans were gathering just outside the state capitol today. Straight ahead on OU Nightly.
The debate about whether students will receive state funding to attend private schools is still ongoing even after the bill failed to pass. Libbey Dean joins us with more in our Capitol Report.
Yeah, Dylan, a long debate Thursday night ended in the failing of the Oklahoma Empowerment Act, leaving the author of the bill disappointed but not defeated.
We're going to continue the fight. Nothing's over ever in this building.
He says the fight will continue for the bill that allows funds to follow a student from public to private school. Though the legislation received support from Governor Stitt during his State of the State address, it fell short in a vote of 22 to 24. And outside the Capitol today, people gathered for Child Advocacy Day in hopes of informing lawmakers of issues children in the state are facing. The main focus of the group is House Bill 3205. This bill would reduce court costs for children in the Oklahoma juvenile justice system. And the House approved the measure and it now heads to the Senate. And that's all for Capitol Report. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Libbey. One OU Panhellenic member is hosting a drive to help wishes come true. Ahead on OU Nightly, we'll tell you more about the impact a stuffed animal has on some younger Oklahomans.
And it's nice outside, but the nice weather isn't here to stay. Juliana, how long will we have these warm temperatures?
We've just got about a day with it for us, so we've got severe weather on the way. All the details coming up.
Welcome back to OU Nightly. Some breaking news coming into our newsroom. Thick smoke is filling the sky north of campus. Our partners at News 9 in Oklahoma City have their helicopter up over the scene of a massive fire. It's happening near Northeast 23rd and Coltrane Road.
The fire is burning near a junkyard and has spread to trees nearby. Firefighters from Oklahoma City, Forest Park, and Spencer fire departments are all on the scene. Many people across the metro area are reporting that they see smoke, and crews say this fire is big enough to be seen for several miles. This is a developing story. We'll bring you new information just as soon as we get it. And the warm temperatures and wind are a big part of our weather today. Let's get the latest on that from Juliana.
Yes, yeah, unfortunately that's not surprising that the fire kind of struck up there, because that's exactly what we're expecting to see with conditions like we have today and tomorrow. So right now about 84 degrees, well above average. Typically we're sitting at about 63 degrees on this date here this late in March. Sunny out there, so we've got plenty of sunshine, rather breezy. You can see winds at about 18 miles per hour and pretty dry with that too. So all of this is just kind of the perfect mixture out there for fire conditions. But now talking about tomorrow and that severe weather outlook. So specifically, again, we've got that slight risk for severe weather overall. Narrowing it down here to hail, you can see we fall right in this 15% mark for some hail chances, as well as a much broader swath for strong winds with these storms, as it is looking to be much more of a linear mode storm system here. So getting a look at that as well. Again, this dry line that's going to bring us dry conditions even drier going into tomorrow for the first half of the day before this cold front pushes through behind it, initiating this line of storms. And that's going to bring, again, those strong winds are pretty much the main threat with this, as along with hail chances. Of course, tornadoes can't be ruled out in a system like this as well as severe weather overall. And then again, even lingering chances potentially throughout the first half of Wednesday as well. So going into the spring season and with systems like this and storm possibilities like this, you always want to remember in this type of situation, if you do not have a basement, you'll want to get into the innermost room of your home, typically a bathroom, something surrounded by walls and no windows. And if possible, bring with you into a storm shelter or into this space with you some helmets, bike helmets, maybe pillows to cover your head, water, and a first aid kit. Again, if possible, if you have the lead time to get ahead of this and take shelter in those kinds of situations. Now, again, talking about fire weather and those dry conditions that we're anticipating to continue into tomorrow, really this is focused on the western half of the state, and you can see we do have an active red flag warning for tomorrow that's active from noon until 1 a.m. Wednesday. So again, those fire conditions are going to be extreme tomorrow, and I have not yet seen extreme on the Weather Service's website up until today, so it's going to be rather serious, and we're already seeing those fires strike up as of today. Now going into tonight, temperatures a bit warmer than this, with this map maybe not quite so updated, but we're expecting to dip into the 60s overnight tonight. You can see that here, so about 64 for our overnight low. Now tomorrow, again, warm again. That cold front after these storms is going to drop us into the 50s, so about 10 degrees below average. So we're on a little bit of a roller coaster for the next 2 days before we level out going into the rest of the week, returning to the 60s, returning to some sunshine. You can see Friday and Saturday, maybe some lingering pop-up chances for some showers as well, but that's a few days out, so we'll keep track of that. Again, really, we're just looking forward to returning to those 60s and some sunshine.
Thanks, Juliana. Well, a member of the OU community is setting out to help Make-A-Wish Oklahoma bring a smile to kids' faces. Sarah Rayner is hosting a toy drive through the end of this week. The toys are a way for Make-A-Wish volunteers to break the ice and connect with kids who will be granted a wish. Every Wish kid receives one from the first representative they meet, and Rayner wants to make sure that the organization has more than enough supplies.
I mean, they're struggling. And so being able to give them that toy and being comfortable with what they're about to have and who they're about to meet really opens up and puts a smile on their face, and that's what's really exciting.
Anyone who wants to donate a toy can contact Rayner via Instagram, direct message, or email.
Well, I reported on Friday that OU softball had moved up to 26-0. But they had a series against Baylor over the weekend.
Yeah, Tyler Deluca joins us in sports. Tyler, was it a clean sweep against Marita Hines?
Well, the first two games were easy peasy for the Sooners, but they needed a little Sooner magic at the end of the third. I'll let you know if their wish came true. And staying on the diamond, OU baseball opened Big 12 play, and you could say it was grand. Find out how it went next on OU Nightly. Welcome back to OU Nightly. I am Tyler Deluca, and it is time for sports. The dominance of OU softball continued this weekend as they opened Big 12 play. Baylor came into Norman and went home with 3 straight losses. For one of the first times this season, the Sooners had their backs against the wall, but Tiare Jennings hit a walk-off 3-run home run to keep OU undefeated. And staying on the diamond, OU baseball also hosted the Bears here in Norman, but were not able to pull off the sweep like softball. OU was victorious in the first 2 matchups of the series, but were unable to finish the series undefeated, losing the third. The highlight of the series came in the second game where Peyton Graham hit a walk-off grand slam to send the Sooners home smiling. And with spring practice in full swing, OU Nightly's Ashley Velde has the latest from Coach Venables.
It's the second week of spring practice, and the Sooners are already a third of the way through spring ball. Head coach Brent Venables said that he's preaching taking advantage of every moment.
Well, that's my expectation. Everybody's the same way to make things efficient. Everybody's got 20 hours a week right now, and we've got to make the most use of those 20 hours. And that's really my involvement. Reasoning is because I know what extra hats can do, extra bodies, extra voice, and try to get guys to shortcuts as quickly as possible from a development standpoint and learning standpoint.
Venables also announced that Baker Mayfield's Heisman presentation will take place during halftime of the spring game. Ashley Velde, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Ashley. And the only thing better than top-ranked women's tennis is Red River rivalry tennis. Number 3 OU defeated number 6 Texas yesterday 4-3. With the win, OU remains undefeated at home and in the Big 12. Next up for the Sooners is a matchup with TCU in Fort Worth. And as the madness of March continues, the men's Final Four is officially set. A sea of Blue Bloods filled the 4 spots with Kansas, Duke, Villanova, and North Carolina. This will be the first time Duke and UNC have faced off in the tournament, and a shot at a championship is on the line. The Tar Heels earned the matchup with Duke after a dismantling of legendary Cinderella team St. Peter's.
A group of guys came in here. No one gave a chance to. No one believed in, but the people in our locker room and the people on, that's in our program, administration, us, and made history.
And the 2 teams joining South Carolina and Stanford in the women's Final Four will be decided tonight. First up is the UConn Huskies and NC State. While the Wolfpack is the 1 seed, they will be in the Huskies' yard in Bridgeport. And the final spot will go to the winner of 1 seed Louisville and 3 seed Michigan. Those games tip at 6 and 8 p.m. respectively. And for the first time this season, Kyrie Irving was able to play at home in Brooklyn. This came after NYC Mayor Eric Adams changed the vaccination requirements in the city. The return was spoiled, however, by Charlotte, who won 119-110. Kyrie Irving had a good game with 16 points and 11 assists in the loss, but was not able to overcome 33 points from LaMelo Ball. And if you did not get enough Sooner Sports here, I got you covered. Sooner Sports Pad will be live on Bally Sports Oklahoma tonight at 7:30 with more Sooner Sports coverage. Dylan and Zaria, back to you.
Thanks, Tyler. Well, gas prices are still digging into my pockets, but one businessman up north is helping with the cost.
Find out how some Northerners save a hefty dollar at the pump. Straight ahead on OU Nightly.
I'm Carolynn Felling at the OU Nightly Update Desk. Heavy fog and precipitation from a snowstorm caused a massive wreck on Pennsylvania Highway. According to authorities, the accident involved about 40 vehicles and hospitalized about 20 people. The pileup happened shortly after 10:30 Monday morning in the northbound lanes of Interstate 81. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Caroline. Well, did someone say free gas? Well, prices are still fairly high, but one Chicago, Illinois man has a plan to offset those costs.
Businessman Willie Wilson put $200,000 toward a gas giveaway the first time around, but it was such a hit he put $1 million toward another giveaway this past week. Nearly 50 gas stations across Chicago are participating as lines grow longer throughout the giveaway. Each driver heading through the Chicago area can get up to $50 worth of free gas.
Well, tomorrow at 10 a.m. it'll be warm and pleasant outside, but at 10 p.m. not so much.
Juliana, how bad are these incoming storms going to get?
Yes, Dylan, Zaria, tomorrow's definitely a day to be weather aware, not even just because of these storms, but also because of the fire risk out there. So tomorrow's a day to really be sure to obey burn bans, pay attention to the red flag warning, but also, again, those storms, hail, essentially all modes of severe weather are possible. Hail, strong winds, and tornadoes. So again, be sure to have your means of weather communication and have your phone ready for alerts going in the overnight hours. Again, this is a nocturnal event, so this is going to be late tomorrow night, and that's also coming with a cold front cooling us off significantly Wednesday. You can see 54 degrees for that high. We are looking forward to Dylan Zaria returning to the 60s and much more seasonable sunny conditions.
Well, thanks, Juliana, and thank you for tuning in to OU Nightly. We're live every weekday from Gaylord Hall on the campus of the University of Oklahoma.
We'll see you back here tomorrow night, live at 4:30. Good night.